Hi, my name is Siri, so you know we can always learn something new from me. And in today's video, I'm going to be analyzing a song I've never heard before. Before you freak out, yes, I have never heard the entirety of SHINee's Replay. I've heard the chorus. I've been on K-pop YouTube, but obviously I've heard the chorus, but I've never listened to the song in full, which is, yeah, not very good for me to say, but I got into K-pop in 2020. I'm mostly just familiar with third and fourth gen. But I had this idea a while ago and I had these annotations. I've had these annotations for a while. So I thought, uh, especially since it was recently their 15th anniversary, I think, it was a good time to finally make myself make the video. Um, so how this is gonna work, I don't think I'm going to react to the song like on camera. Well, I don't really do things on camera, but I'm not going to record myself reacting to the music video just because I don't know how all of that works with copyright and stuff, and I don't want my channel to be taken down because of X, Y, or Z. So I'm just going to watch the video by myself and then I'll come back at the end with some thoughts that I have after watching the music video if I do have any thoughts. Um, but yeah, this is a video I've been excited to make just because there are so many songs that I don't know, even though they're like iconic, and I want this gives me an excuse to listen to things that I wouldn't otherwise listen to, or it would take me a long time to get to them. But yeah, we're gonna start with the annotations. It starts with Nuna, you're so pretty, which, we're talking about things on a very surface level. It's kind of playing on an idea of innocence, crazy. There's 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 this sense of disbelief, even though things are very simple from where we're starting, which kind of, you know, again, there's that innocence factor, and then there's replay, repetition, ace and det in, everything's kind of, I wouldn't say it's monotone or not a monotone, monotonous, but it's very consistent, I guess you could say. Oh, I love you, girl. It's very conversational. And because Nunana is so pretty, men don't leave her alone. They're presenting her first. You know, they're using specifically a dependent clause to begin the verse. But I actually know her fluttering heart. They're kind of describing her with an action. She's not like personified, but compared to like an animal. When you say fluttered, I think of like a hummingbird or something. But even though it's not necessarily humane, that's not, it's not necessarily human-like, but it is still in a pleasant way. And this has a lot of different stipulations that you could take away. In my opinion, to her, love is just a momentary feeling. Again, there is that uh, dependent clause that is leading the line, and it's just kind of becoming a pattern and almost making things seem unreliable to an extent. No matter what they say, she's everything in my life. They can only speak of her specifically with figurative language. They're not able to speak of her as like something literal, something real. Maybe she's burdened by my young self. It's like conflating this presumption with their insecurities. I know it by the way she looks at me. There's that presumption is becoming more like certainty, and I think I'm gonna hate it, girl. It's the it versus the girl. The end is coming. It's a literally simple assertion. It's a simple sentence. No matter what anyone says, your heart will tell you. There is that dependent clause. There is the certainty, but about something abstract. Nuna, you're so pretty. Looking at her, I go crazy. Dependent, and it's encapsulating this idea of dependence. And there's also just casual hyperbole. Um, how about she's tired of me now? There's this casual bitterness. Memories claw in my heart. They're they're being personified in a violent way. Oh, it hurts, so now my heart I heal. The I is on the cusp of being included outside of the parentheses, but they uh they're inside the parentheses, and it's kind of suggesting that there is a separation between the I and the healing that needs to be done, which is kind of, getting into what is this supposed to be an ontological thing, an epistemological thing? To me, it sounds like epistemological in terms of like personality psychology. I mean, not in terms of other things. Epistemological is like, the it's supposed to be the me, the version of the self that is being described. With the upcoming breakup, I replay, replay, replay. There's the dependent clause that is fully encapsulated. The I is still encapsulated. Nuna, you're my MVP. They call her so many things, but they don't call her by her name. They use these epithets, which kind of suggests like a lack of familiarity. I was filled with jealousy, always paying attention to others. There's no subject in this line, which kind of implicates uh, the sense of identity in the song as well. Whenever I'm with her, I'm so cool. Again, there's this dependence, but it's paired with bravado. My promise of not letting go of our hands, they're accepting responsibility, and there's kind of this ownership of the relationship on top of the hands. I know became a lie at a certain point. I'm not entirely sure what this is supposed to mean. It's very roundabout speech. Um, so it's not entirely clear if that was like a typo, or if that's just supposed to be like, if it's supposed to be intentionally not really making as much sense, kind of juvenile. And then besides that, I really wanted to talk about my young self's heart filled with sincere love. It, to me, it's painting a difference between sincere and genuine. Sincere is like true, but genuine has more heart to it. So I think if they used the word genuine, it would seem more impassioned. Whereas when they use sincere, less less intense. I mean, is it less intense? I don't know if it's necessarily less intense, but it's definitely different. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. I think I think that being sincere is something that we can all achieve, whereas being genuine is something you kind of have to work toward. And in terms of this relationship in this song, they haven't worked enough toward becoming genuine with each other, if that makes sense. So this is just my reaction after seeing the music video. I wouldn't say it's particularly different from what I expected. I think part of me was expecting something a little more poppy, I guess you could say, but I think that's just my expectation with K-pop most of the time, not so much with this, because I've heard the chorus, like I said, so I knew to an extent what was coming. Um, it's it's more melodic than I thought it would be just from reading the English lyrics. Like, it surprised me how well everything kind of fit together sonically. I think it sounds a lot like a song I would listen to when I was little. Not necessarily, I mean, the song came out in 2011, so be, I would be like in fifth grade. I guess around that time I was listening to like Lemonade Mouth a lot and like Victorious stuff. So it's not necessarily fitting in with that, but earlier than that, I listened to a lot of like Bratz music, and I know that sounds silly. Bratz has amazing music. Oh my god, if you've never listened to Bratz music, go listen to the Rock Angels album. It'll change your life. And it's not necessarily like it would fit on the Rock Angels album. I think it's more like the Fashion Pixies route, but I just it gives me that nostalgic vibe, and it reminds me that this is a genre that I also enjoy, even though it's not necessarily, what I always love. there's some things that you like to do every once in a while. I like to, you know, there are foods I eat every once in a while and I really enjoy them, but I wouldn't enjoy them if I was eating them every day. There are some, there are some, there are, sometimes I like to watch movies. I don't watch a lot of movies, but sometimes I'm really in that mood. So this is not going to be a core song for me. I understand why it kind of is for a lot of other people. I'm not going to be listening to this a bunch, but I'm definitely interested in looking into more SHINee songs. And you know what? This was just my first listen, so maybe this will actually change. Who knows? If it changes, I'll leave a comment or something. I don't know when it's going to change, so if it will, I don't know. But that's basically all I wanted to say. I think it's a great song. I see why people love it. It's not necessarily something I'm going to listen to all the time, but it's something that, you know, I listen to a lot of, or I used to have this playlist of like sad K-pop songs that I would listen to just to try and like get into. It was supposed to be like a writing trigger. Um, and that was very effective for a while just because I didn't understand what they were saying, so it wasn't just instrumental music, but I couldn't get too distracted by the words. I feel like this would be an interesting song to write too. Maybe I'll try it, we'll see. I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm just gonna leave it here. I hope you enjoyed. I'm definitely gonna do more of this, but I don't know what with. I think I might do like a Girls' Generation song next. I might. I don't know. I because there are a couple of songs of theirs that I have listened to, so I don't know. But yeah, this was the video. Like and subscribe if you like. I don't really have an outro. Oh no, I do have an outro. Okay, play outro.
Huh?